Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We thank you for joining us today. As you may know, Wells Fargo has been a long-standing partner of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we've appreciated not only the local leadership team here in Houston, but also nationally and with their executives. So today we want to visit with Bernardo here, who's joining us as a Managing Director, Diverse Segments for the National Hispanic Segment as their leader. Again, Bernardo Ramos. Thank you for joining us, Bernie.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Murillo.
Absolutely. So I always enjoy starting off, especially when we talk to executives at large corporations. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So thank you. Doctora, I grew up in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, which when I was growing up, I considered the center of the universe. I grew up with immigrant parents. My parents immigrated from Puerto Rico. I grew up in a pretty drug-infested Hispanic ghetto in Brooklyn. Around many cousins, and was very fortunate to have parents who I like to say my mother taught me how to love, my father taught me how to work. They were not incredibly educated folks from a technical perspective, but they instilled in me the desire to work and a strong family orientation. Went to college in upstate New York, entered banking 30 years ago, and a year and change ago, I got the opportunity to work in the Hispanic segment, which, I wake up every day incredibly grateful that I'm able to leverage my 30 years of experience with my passion for the Hispanic community. And I get to do that around the country. So I'm inspired and excited every day and to work with people like you around the country.
Well, thank you so much. We know the demographics. We understand that the country has changed and certainly appreciate Wells Fargo making this a priority. Why is it a priority, and what are some of the things that you're doing to make sure you're successful?
Well, it's a priority. I mean, our job is, folks think about it from a deposit and a loan perspective. I look at it from a community building perspective. That is the job of banks. As the demographics change, as populations increase in different markets, it's our job to identify what it is we need to do. So what we're doing is traveling around the country, listening to folks like you and others in the community, talking to our customers and prospects and looking to see what it is they need. But we're also investing in the communities, in trying to build generational wealth, providing information, providing dollars where that's appropriate. And so the bank is committed at the top of the house. I'm part of an organization that reports up to the CEO, and we're covering all segments and in the key markets, as is Houston, as one of the most diverse cities in the country. So the bank is fully committed. We've applied resources to that, both from a philanthropic perspective, but also from a business perspective. Because my motto is, we need to do well, and that allows us to do more good. So that's where we're focused right now.
Specifically, let's talk a little bit about Wells Fargo and commercial banking.
Sure. We have, overall, there's 1,100 people in Houston. We have about 100 commercial bankers there. But what we do in commercial banking is we look to meet the needs of businesses from $25 million to $2 billion. That's what we do in commercial banking around the country. And we have pockets of significant number of employees in the commercial bank in key cities around the country, including Houston. We're listening to what they need, helping them scale, helping them grow, and not just basic needs, but also whether it's international business that they do or, where do they want to grow and how can we help them?
And also we understand the value and the role that Wells Fargo plays with the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, a variety of our conferences, et cetera. And we saw your team most recently at our annual luncheon. But you are so involved in the broader community. Can you give us some highlights specific to Houston or projects that have been especially important to you all?
One of the things that we're super focused on is home ownership as a tool to building generational wealth. So through our, wealth opportunities through home ownership, we've been working with the Harris County Homeownership Collaborative, and in terms of it will provide them up to $7.5 million. And part of that is a new program they announced in October called Own the Hue, which is designed to not just facilitate homeownership, but educate. And I think as we look to shift the paradigm to increase Hispanic and underrepresented groups in home ownership, that program provides foundational knowledge that our hope is that will transcend through the generations. Because obviously what we see our parents do is what we want to do. We want to do better. And as we lift those folks up in the community through that home ownership, build that wealth, I think that'll have impact for generations to come. That's one of the key things we're doing.
Well, Bernie, our thanks to you, the Wells Fargo team here locally and nationally. We appreciate on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and our board, we thank you for all that you do and for your leadership. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctora. Senado.